Hello everyone, so today I'm going to be painting these watercolour fireworks with a little bit of mixed media in there as well, and I used masking fluid to get this look. Hope you enjoy watching. Hello everyone, so today I'm going to be doing a fireworks watercolour painting. So as I'm recording this, it's still 2025, so I guess this will be my last painting for this year. So like I said, I wanted to paint some fireworks, and it dawned on me when I thought about this that I wanted to paint fireworks. I realised I'd never actually painted fireworks before, or at least I don't remember ever painting fireworks before. I definitely remember watching, when I first started getting into watercolour, I definitely remember watching other people, of watercolour artists, or just artists in general doing fireworks, but I don't remember doing it. So earlier today, because it's like 5 o'clock right now, I did, how am I going to do this without, okay, I did some practicing. So, I mean, it doesn't matter if this is in full view because this is practice. So, I did some different things. So up here is I was testing underpainting tones and then painting over the top, and that's watercolour on top of watercolour, which I didn't think would be opaque. It's better if you do gouache for that, or markers and stuff, but I still wanted to test it. And then down here is one of my favourite outcomes, where I paint a colour, put masking fluid on, let it dry, and then paint over it, and then you have the other layer of watercolour that you first put down. So that's probably the one I'm going to be doing, although obviously I've been making it better because these were thumbnails, basically sketches. Then we have this one, which is nice, but it's simple and it hasn't got much sparkle and definition to it, but it is still very pretty. And this was just watercolour, and then masking fluid, and then watercolour on top, and then take the masking fluid off and you're left with the white space. That's all that one was. This one was a bokeh, or a bouquet effect, however you want to say it. Oh, can you see it? Sorry. This was like I say, a watercolour bokeh effect, and then acrylic markers drawn on top and some dots done. And I think this one's pretty as well, but I kind of like this one because I don't know, obviously when it comes, this is, I don't know, I just like how this one I found fun. And I think it's probably going to be mixed media anyway, depending on adding some more sparkles and some pens to it and how it works out. So yeah, basically this is a last painting of 2025, and this is going to be more of a see how I do, watch me figure out how I'm going to do it process kind of painting, because like I said, I don't remember ever painting them before until today. So I've got paper towels at the back here. That might be in the way. Also, I'm not good at nails, but I love the sparkly nail polish. I don't think my nails are even long enough to do. But anyway, I did a sparkly. And then a sparkly jumper that was a Christmas gift. It's really soft, it's really comfy. And helping right now, because it's really cold, my art studio, my art desk is by an open window. Not open anymore, but yeah. So it was cold. It was quite cold a minute ago. Right, I might get this brush actually. And with that. So I've got two glasses. Oh, I've got two glasses of water. One for cleaning off my paintbrush and one for applying water. Oh, that's going to be used later. I'll probably move this out of the way a little bit. So I'm going to be using cadmium yellow hue. Yep, probably cadmium orange hue as well. And then lamp, is it called lamp black in this set? It is called lamp black. Obviously you can make your own black with, like, for my other set I use Van Dyke Brown and Indigo or Payne's Grey to make like a black, but this Phoenix Watercolours comes with a lamp black, so I'm going to use it. Okay, so I'm going to get my cadmium yellow hue. Oops, oh my goodness, that's a lot of pigment. I should have used a smaller brush to get it out of the palette before I went ahead and there are tiny little bits of, I think I mentioned this before, this paintbrush is also sometimes my Mod Podge paintbrush as well, so it's kind of hard to maneuver now. So yeah. Okay, right, so I'm just going to put colours down. Okay, so it's on the cadmium orange hue, but I'm only going to get a little bit of that. Oh, it looks like it's got a little bit of lamp black when I was practicing earlier. I was going to mix that in here a little bit. So this part is obviously looking rather messy and random, but this is going to dry this, put the masking fluid on to make the firework shapes, and then it will dry, and then I'll probably add another layer of this. So I can have a gradient effect to the black and this colour, and then you rub it. Then I'm going to, so I'm trying to explain the idea, that the process that I have in my head. Then I'm going to take the masking fluid off, see how it looks, add a few more glittery sparkles and play around with glitter and sparkly stuff. You see, it's yeah, so when I do these ones where I haven't painted the subject that I'm painting a couple of times before in my own time, like I said, I only really painted this today. It's kind of hard to explain the plans in my head because I've never done it before. So yeah, right, so that's that. So I don't need to worry about too much. I could, if I want it to be a little bit less, I could just maybe, this isn't really necessary to do the whole page, but I can. And obviously if this is a success and you do end up following along, obviously whatever colours you want to choose, you know, because obviously fireworks are, you know, you can get loads of lovely bright colours. For me, I'm afraid I really love, my favourite fireworks are the sparkly glittery gold ones that kind of, they explode and then they fall down the sky just like it's raining gold. They're my favourite ones, so that's the colours that I'm going for. Okay, I'm going to leave that. I'm going to let that dry, and by dry I mean hair dryer. Okay, so let's try this pot now. This one is called a Colour Shaper by Rural Sovereign. Oh dear. So that's what I use for my masking fluid. This side has never been used. I don't really care about the paintbrush side of it, but I suppose maybe it's because I guess if you're using the side, which is the important bit, and then you flip it over, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. It's just I really bought it for this bit. So let's try this part. So this part is the bit that makes me nervous, is because I want to obviously not spill my masking fluid on my table again, but wanna I want to try and get the shape thin enough, I guess. And sometimes I've had I think I mentioned before, I'm not the steadiest. I don't have a steady hand for like thinner details, so this is the part that see, takes me, see, this is problem is with like process wise, when I'm trying to figure it out, it takes a lot longer for me to make decisions and get on with it. And you can probably hear fireworks in the background. Okay, let's just try it. Let's just. So there's this bit here that kind of already looks like a circle. So we're going to take our time. Let's just take our time. I've got plenty of time. So then maybe a little one here. Then a big, maybe a bigger one. Is that rubbing? I can't tell if those little chunky bits there are from the masking fluid or the watercolour, because I did dry it off. Am I using the wrong side? I am using the wrong side. Okay. I don't think I put enough on it. I mean, if it doesn't turn out quite how I imagined, oops, that's what the mixed media is useful for. So I can add markers and stuff. I might add a bit more to this one because that's really Ooh. I suck at using this. I bought it to be more precise and I think I'm using it wrong. I have used it a couple of times, but I haven't used like the precision, like the little detail point a lot. So like when I do a lot of my paintings, when I do flowers, I tend to like put a load on it and then I can do thicker splodges, but like this bit here, I'm just kind of figuring out. That's a bit better. Like if I just do like quick and easy flicks, it's like that. Okay, so I think that one's just about done. Let's do a couple of smaller ones in the middle, so it won't like that. Yeah, okay, so I think that one's probably done. Let's move on to another one. And when it comes to editing, I don't know whether this part will be boring or whether you'd want to watch it. Oops, that's fine. Just sort of. Like, so far, I think the problem is like because I'm not that good at using this. And if there's someone in the comments watching this and they know how to use this and you want to give me some advice, please do. It's more than welcome, so I can get using this properly. Because at this point I'm just sort of flicking it across the page and hoping for some sort of result. So it's like sometimes I feel like I'm getting there and I'm understanding it, and then okay, just going to get a bit more. Let's do another one. Let's do one down here. Yep. Because I also want to, like the fireworks that I mentioned, the sparkly ones that glitter, they do when they obviously go, like, actually explode. Before they do, let me see if I can get rid of that. When they I don't know how to describe it. If you know the ones I'm talking about, you know the ones that I mean. That they kind of like, they look like glitter falling from the sky. And to portray that, I was going to, like I said, do some like mixed media, maybe like acrylic markers or just the gold, probably my gold paint, and do some splatters to do that effect. Oh, I think, yeah, I think I clean that off. Because I might keep this bit in because I'm still talking a little bit about my process, but I can't imagine this part is much fun while I'm figuring out how to use one of my tools. Okay. I don't know, do I only do 3 or do I risk like maybe just one up here? Or like, do I say to myself, because I'm adding the sparkly paint one, that I only need to do 3 and I can stop and I can stop doing this? If I do sparkly ones up here, I could put one here. Let's do one down here as well. This is my last one, so. Oh, I put too much on it. One thing I was thinking of doing is, because obviously I spilt my masking fluid, I have a lot less than I used to have, so I have to put this really down into the bottle, and it might be better if I get like a little dish and do it that way. So while I'm doing this, it can give you time to comment. What is everyone's New Year traditions? Does anybody have any? Because I have to admit, I've never really celebrated New Year. Like, not like actually done any parties or anything. You know, I've said to, you know, people and texted friends and, you know, family members like, oh, you know, Happy New Year and stuff like that. But like when it comes to actually doing a party or going to a party, not really. I don't even I don't do fireworks either. I love looking at them, but I don't think I've done fireworks. Okay, so that is done, and it's so hard to see. So I'm gonna have to let that dry, and then we'll be back, and hopefully this works out. The idea in my head, I'm hoping it works out. So I've now cleaned this off. So it's looking all shiny. Okay, I'll meet you back when it's dry. Okay, so everything is looking good and I'm feeling a bit good about this. So you can hardly see, well, I don't know, you can't from my view, I don't know if you can see on the actual like video itself, but like the some of it's shiny and you can see like the little marks. So I'm feeling good about this, but obviously the best test will be the overpainting. So right, so cadmium yellow hue for the middle part with, I think, definitely some lamp black. Okay, so here's the test part. So lamp black. Checking that I pressed record. I did. Okay, so is this my, hang on, oh sorry, hang on, I have a bigger, where's my big, oh there it is, sorry, okay, a bigger brush might be better for this, although I don't know how this brush is holding together because I can feel this little bit here. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's getting ready to break at some point, and I hope it doesn't because I love this paintbrush. Okay, here we go. I'm ready to get on with it now. Ah, it has worked, thank goodness for that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the black, the lamp black in the corners. And around the side. And you can probably hear the, I don't know if you can, but there's fireworks going off right now. Oh, there's a little bit lamp black left on my brush, and then I'm going to do a painting of the yellow over the top. This looks really messy right now, but I'm just kind of following the steps that I did earlier on today. With the view that I liked. Although that's dried very quickly. Although this is sorry, this is this is 200 GSM, and the journal I use, which I talked about in my sketchbook tour, is 160, but it does really well, so I don't really know what to say about that. But I don't think I actually mentioned what paper I was using. Okay, so this is what I did earlier today, where I kind of pulled my paintbrush up and down. I mixed the two colours together that until I was happy. Oh, a little tip that I saw that I haven't used myself, but I have seen that if you don't have masking fluid, you can use like a white crayon, and it's watercolour, like water resistant. But because I haven't tried it, I can't give too many tips on it because I haven't used it. So the thing that I did, I'm going to go back to my other paintbrush now. Oh, sorry, that was really loud. That I did earlier today, I got my cadmium yellow hue again, but I made it pigmented, really pigmented, but with a lot of water, and I basically did this and just flicked it and let it do what it wants. Obviously, if you want to, you can do the bokeh effect, but I just had fun doing this. Okay, so now I could add the sparkles already, but I think that'd be better adding on top when all this bit's done. Okay, I definitely know I just splattered some yellow somewhere around here because I watched it fly past my head. So I think maybe, in all honesty, it's probably on me. So, and then obviously because the background is still wet, it blooms, does these little blooms in the water. maybe the flicking part is just the fun part, is just doing that, but I'm going to leave that because I've done a lot already and I don't want to completely do so much yellow that the black isn't a staple piece anymore. So now we're back to letting that dry again. Right, so I'm back and my desk is a mess. But I expect that. So I will confess, when I was going to use the hairdryer to make it dry faster, like I normally do, and because I did that and it wasn't fully wet, it ended up moving my blooms, the little droplets that I'd flicked onto it, so they no longer look like blooms. It kind of faded into the background. So I dried it a little bit more. I dried it some more and then I added some more blooms, so you can see there's another layer on top. So now it's a bit more dry. I thought, why not add a third, because I think it looks magical. I like it. So sometimes just these little process things can take you by surprise. I'm going to add a few more. Let's see how those look. Right. About to say I don't want to go overboard, but I think I might have done already, but it's fine. So yeah, so sometimes just those little things that you didn't plan on doing, or you didn't think about until you did it, because I hadn't thought about obviously obviously using the hairdryer would push the wet watercolour into the other wet watercolour. You see, now I'm saying it, it obviously seems like a very simple outcome, like why wouldn't it? But at the time I didn't think about it. So I had to improvise with what happened, and I ended up being able to add more dots on top when it was a bit more dry. So I got this look. Right, so now let's add some sparklies. I'm just going to, I should have sprayed these earlier actually, so they would already be ready to use. But we'll see if we can get them. So for colour wise, that's that one's my favourite. I think probably not just because it's my favourite, but I think this one might match it best. That one's a bit really quite dark compared to what I've got going on. That one is like I think that one's actually, it might be, I've got them in my other sketchbook. That's more of a champagne-y pink, so I don't think that will quite match. That one's really pretty, but it might be a bit light. So, yeah, let's do this one then. See if I can. Might be okay. Just trying to get it I'm going to do the same technique. See if I can get the same consistency as that. Although I have just accidentally mixed them together on my palette. Ooh. I don't know, maybe that's overboard. Maybe a little better when it dries. I've found with like metallic watercolours, their consistency, depending on the way that I flick them, I can get an upward splatter where it splats like this, which happened here. But at the same time, this bit down here, you can tell there's blooms because it was still quite wet, and that's my fault. And I have two options. I can let it dry and just see what happens. I can dab it down like that, but I run the risk of it pulling up the other layers underneath that will be wet. So if I do that, I'll get a big black splodge, and that'll be quite difficult for me to. I hope you can see it. Yeah. Can you see it? I think you can. Let me check my frames. My frames compared to working in my sketchbook to a actual piece of paper is awful. Yes, you can see it. I'm going to sit back down now. So like I said, so this bit here, if I do it, I run the risk of getting a black splodge, and it'll be hard to fix. Yeah, so that was probably a mistake, because as you can see, the adding that made these other blooms really, oh, just dropped my paintbrush, made them really go kind of wild and not how I planned. So I could let it dry and add the white cadmium yellow hue spots on again, but I think I'll leave it, because I have to remember, once I've dried and I've rubbed off the masking fluid, I'll be adding like mixed media stuff on top, so it could get very crowded. So we're going to leave it like that. I'm going to let it dry, and then we'll see where we are, and hopefully by then, when I meet you back, I'll be able to rub off the masking fluid and we'll be there for the next step. Okay, so I've cleaned my table up slightly. So my mixed media was less mixed media than I thought it would be. I bought my these aren't my only acrylic markers. I have a big box, but these are obviously the ones that for colours for this, and then I obviously have my sparkly, which I'll be using a thin paintbrush to add some sparklies in the middle. Yep, so I did try this, I hope. This is always the nerve wracking part. I'm about to say, I bet you that I was just thinking, I bet you that's rocking the camera. Have you seen people use rubbers, like erasers, when they do this. I've never used it. I've always just done this way. Oh, I did almost forget. I do have, I think, I was about to say I could use this as well, but I think it hasn't got a lot of ink left. There's one of my white gel pens. Oh, there's my other Shaw and Marsh gel pen. Over. I'd say so far not bad for my first firework attempt from what I can remember. But why does it feel like they looked better with the masking fluid on than off? Okay, so I like how they look. So I don't know how I'm going to do this without obviously ruining them. I don't know. Maybe just gently in between. Always do a bit of smudging as well. It's just that this yellow doesn't quite, I don't think it quite matches. Because I said I was going to do some, the sparkly, oh that needs more of an orange, in the corner, but I think I've already maximised the background already. Well, you see that goes a bit better. Oh, you see that one's starting to look like a pom-pom. Yeah. I don't know, I still think they're kind of cute. I wish I'd done the orange first, because it feels like the orange would have been bright, like really, really bright. But it goes really well, and I kind of wish I'd done this before I did the yellow. Maybe if I draw on top of the yellow, I can cover it up a little bit. It's just the other one's like, this one's kind of thin with its, don't know, it's sparkle bits coming off of it. This is starting to look like really fluffy, and I don't think adding any more of that really helped. Now what can I use the white for without, I've used this white a lot, so look at the poor nib bits and look at my poor finger. I actually think this might be empty. I've used it a lot. I think it might be. Yeah, I think it's empty. Never mind. So we're not used. So I don't have to worry about where I'm going to put that. Because here's this one. Just a few. I don't know. Just a few sparks. That's the idea. I just want to, if I just do it so it like flicks a little bit of sparks, just like that. It's kind of fun. Okay. Now, so I've done that. Those can go back to their home where I keep them. Just I almost forgot what colour I used. I used this one, didn't I? It's going to just, oh, I think this metallic watercolour I find also dries really quickly compared to other watercolour in the pan, I've noticed. Let's try and mix it up again. Though that should work. And I'm just almost put it in the wrong one again. I'm just going to thinly and gently add some gold into the fireworks. Just little accents, not too many. Like that. Get some more water, get a bit more. I think this firework that I'm working on right now is probably maybe my least favourite because of how fluffy it looks. Now, which one didn't I do? I don't think I've done this one. Oops, that was bigger. A bigger strand than I meant it to be. Okay, so that's that done. Can't imagine that there's much left to add. I don't think this pen, compared to the other white pen, to add little sparks will do much, other than maybe over. I say as I keep adding it. There we go. Okay, I'm going to put that away. I'm just going to. Can I do this one? There we go. I'm using this smaller brush to do this because I don't want really big sparkles. I just want little ones. And then go down here. Yeah, so that's I actually really like this, especially for it being my first attempt doing fireworks in a big scale. Because I mean, like I said, I did practice those other ones today, but I didn't do a big piece. And I'm quite happy with how this turns out. My only regret is obviously my impatience. If I had just let these dry naturally, the dot technique that you can kind of see here in these blooms, they would have stayed. Obviously in this one you can see where all the big blooms have formed, and that's the only letdown, I think, apart from this pom-pom firework that I've got going on. But that's the only thing that I really have issue with. But it doesn't stop me liking it, because I actually really love how this has turned out. I just think if I just let it dry naturally, the background would look a little bit more how I envisioned it would be. I'm just cleaning off my paintbrushes, putting my sparkly paint away. Okay, so dear. Sorry, I almost lost my watercolours there. That made me very sad. Anyway, I'm going to move this out of the way, sort of. Obviously, I'm going to be cleaning my desk after this video is finished. Okay, so this is how it is looking. Now let's peel off the tape and hope for the best. Please don't rip, because I actually really love how this turned out. So, oh, I'm hoping it won't rip, because this is 200 GSM paper, and also I did use a hairdryer, and that sometimes can take away the stickiness. Because the good thing is with 200 GSM paper, well, not that specifically, but good watercolour paper is, if it doesn't do a big rip, and it does what, but it does like on the side where you can see these little like loose bits of paper, you can just rub them down, I find, and they become unnoticeable. So if you can, I'll show you in a second. Oh, that didn't sound good. I think that's really pretty. I really like that. See if I can show you this. I hope the camera can pick it up, but there's these little, I don't know if it can actually, but there's these little texture bits, and you can just sort of flatten them down. Anyway, so to the painting itself. Here's the finished piece. So I love the sparkly that I added, which is no surprise. I love sparklies, so there we go, sparkly. But I actually really like how this turned out. I don't think it's a bad attempt, like I said, for a first firework painting. I surprised myself because when I was practicing earlier today, those ones, like, I had an idea, but obviously when you're first painting something, obviously you don't really know how it's going to work out, so that's why I decided to have a good practice. But even they were only a practice for one day. So anyway, so thank you all so much for watching. Have a lovely evening and a lovely new year. Let me know what you think. Yeah, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of this painting. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye. Oh, it's so shiny.